It's Adam from Loose Pixel, and I'm excited. I'm bringing you another unboxing, another Edelkrone unboxing today. Unsponsored, very important to note that. All of this I've purchased with my own money. But what I want to offer is a piece of information that I find is a little bit hard to find online because I research my equipment a lot. And this was something that I had a hard time finding. Comparison between the SliderPLUS Long, this is the 21-inch edition, and the SliderPLUS Pro. And the reason why I've made this upgrade is not for the reasons that you might think. A lot of people will get the Pro version for the increased weight. I'm actually getting it for a different reason. I'm going to explain why I made this important decision, and it is an important one. So without further ado, let's break into this. So here we have our nice, still wrapped SliderPLUS Pro packaging. You can see the nice Edelkrone logo as usual. I'm going to grab a knife that's exceptionally sharp. So I've cut myself on this thing before, and let's break into this without, I don't want to damage the box at all. I'm going to try to be as careful as I can here. There, I'm not going to cut it any further than that. I'm always afraid to scratch the box. So let me use my hands to get the rest of this open. And of course, beautiful packaging as always. Spared no expense on the packaging, that's for sure. And the nice logo. Ooh. Ooh. It's not easy to get open. It's on tight. Good Lord. All those years working out. Waste of time, clearly. It's not that bad. I'm just being dramatic here. There we go. Ta-da! Ooh, very nice. Here we go. All right, so what do we got here? We've got our user manual and some stickers and a user manual, of course. All nicely packaged as always, that nice foam. I'm gonna move this over here. There we go. And the SliderPLUS Pro. I remember when I first unboxed this, my first thing was like, what's this for? Is that part of Slider? It's not, it's just to protect the rails. But you want to be very careful when you cut these little twist ties off. Be very careful because you don't want to scratch the metal in doing so. Of course, you're going to use and abuse your slider over time. And it comes included with the magnetic slip-on belt, the snap-on belt, because by default, if you can see it here, by default, hopefully you can see it, this is the fabric one. This is better. The fabric one is a smoother one for hand sliding, but of course we're going to be attaching the slide module to it, this over here. So a lot of people are like, I'm a filmmaker, I abuse my equipment. You know, like Casey Neistat, he goes through a new camera every 2 weeks because he throws them up against the walls. Not me, I'm a total wimp. I like everything to look pretty. There you go. So now that I've got everything taken off, let's close this because knowing me, I'm a klutz. I will inevitably end up cutting my hands up because I was pulling weeds out in my yard the other day without wearing gloves, and I gave myself about 200 splinters doing it. Smart move. So we have our little lock. You can see here. Let's get a little bit of a close-up look at this and make a little bit of a comparison between the two in terms of their size. Okay. This can handle substantially more weight, but that's not actually the reason. But with that said, if I compare the weight between the two, this is a little bit more weight to this one, but that's not a bad thing. It means it's a little bit sturdier. And we've got a lock right here. Let's get a little bit closer. You can see the lock. So here's the lock, and you're going to unlock it like this. I think it's, yeah, unlock it. And because I have the fabric strap right, the belt right now, it makes for a much smoother slide as far as that goes. So if I move my finger out of the way, I actually I prefer this particular model for locking things because it kind of keeps all the ridges off. And then you've got your 4 legs here. Now, just so you know, you might have seen some reviews where you saw the pegs, the actual screw legs you can screw on that give it a little bit more distance to give it more stability. That I believe comes with the Head Plus. When you purchase the Head Plus, it comes with that. So we have these 4 nice and tight, and they've got a nice rubberized end to it so it doesn't scratch your table. There you go. So we've got our 4 legs, and you can place it like that if you need to give it a little bit more elevation. It's not necessary if you've got it down. I'm just elevating it just to demonstrate it for you. And now what we're going to want to do is get the slip-on belt, the snap-on belt out, because we're going to want to put the rubberized one. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is take the fabric straps off, because these ones are more for hand sliding. They're not going to be usable for the slide module, for the motor itself. So the trick to removing this is open it. And that'll allow you to get your finger underneath and push it up from underneath like that. And it should come off very easily. And it snaps from the back of this one around to the front of this and the back of this. So there's two straps essentially. And you should get a replacement set of straps inside the box as well. I haven't opened it up yet, so that's it. And these are magnetized, so they're gonna snap to everything, which is kind of fun. My cat likes playing with these. Oh, there's a magnet for you. Ha! Look at that. Nice. Well, you know that the magnet's strong, that's for sure. Okay, so we've got our two strap ones over here. I'm gonna pack those away in case I ever wanna hand slide it, although I can't really see myself doing it. And we've got our two rubberized ones that we're gonna be using with the slide module. Make sure you have the teeth upward, because that's what's gonna be gripping. And make sure when you're setting it up that you're lining it up properly. Here, I'll show you close up. Make sure that when you're doing it, you're lining it up properly and centering it on this little wheel here. That's to make sure that it's centered properly. And you're gonna be putting the motor over that. The motor is going to be engaging with it at this point here. So here we are. So teeth up, so you can feel the spine of the teeth. Magnets are gripping on everything, and they're going to go around. You're going to flip it over. They should hold in place very easily. And just make sure that you've got it properly centered on the little wheel, like that. And this one should snap in very easily, like that. There you go. With a little bit of space on top. There you go. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. You really feel the quality too. That's one of the things I love. Is you feel like you've got a safe product here. You don't feel like you've got something flimsy that could break down on you. You really feel like you've got something that's going to last a long time. There's a real solidity and stability to the system, which really inspires confidence. I'm not just this. Remember, this is unsponsored. I'm not getting any freebies over here. This is all from my own pocket. I'm speaking honestly. With this last one, you might need to give it a little bit more tension. That's okay. There you go. It should slap. It should slide in nice and snugly. And there you go. And now that I've got this one on, there's a little bit more resistance to it. I can feel a little bit more resistance. Make sure these are on properly. There we go. We're all good. And lastly, I'm going to lock this in place just so it doesn't move. And we are going to very easily connect our slide module. You just need these two things. And another thing I like about this is that it very easily flips to either side depending on which way you've got your setup. You can move this over from one side to the other quite easily. It doesn't really make a difference. So there you go. So I'm going to install this on one side, screw this in. That's it. It's literally 2 thumb screws and you're all set. There. And the other one. Oops, daisy. And the other one. And we're all set to go. Okay. Now, in case you need to increase the tension or decrease the tension, there's a little on the slide module itself. There's a little rubberized flap that you can lift open, and you can use an Allen key to get in there and tighten it up. There you go. Now, if I unlock it, it's nice and snug. It's tightly in place because I tighten this up. You'll notice that when it comes to actually setting this properly, if you go too loose, then it can slip, and if you go too tight, then you can't move it manually. I just tighten it a little bit more so that it engages the motor properly, as far as that goes. There you have it. Now, let's pair this. Now, let's just give it a shot. So we have in my case, I have it both either with the DC power or with the NPF battery. So I'm just gonna put the NPF battery in since we've got it here. Get a little beep in a second. And we're all set. And I'm going to use the new controller that I got yesterday. I just did a review of it. You can check it over here. And let's power this on. We can get close enough so you can see it. And pair and connect. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see the screen from here. So pair and connect. And I've got slide module. Can you see it? Maybe not. I don't know. It looks dark to me in the monitor. And connect. Make sure it's unlocked. There you go. It's unlocked. And look at that. It works! A thing of beauty. All right, so now that we've got everything set up, let's set these up on tripods, and I'll explain to you why it is exactly that I purchased this and why it might be important for you. It's something to consider when you're deciding between these two. All right, so now I've got it mounted up on my tripod, and I'm going to show you how I set it up and why I ended up opting for the 25-inch SliderPLUS Pro over the 21-inch SliderPLUS Long. This one is a little bit more expensive, and yes, it's capable of handling a significantly heavier load. However, that's not the reason why I ended up getting it. Now, right now I have my A6400 mounted up with no heads or anything like that, so there's not a significant amount of weight on it because I'm recording on my A7 III right now. However, because I like using this particular type of tripod, it's more of a versatile, all-purpose type of tripod. This one is the 055 X Pro Manfrotto tripod. I like it for both video and for photography, so I wanted that versatility with it. I don't have a center column on this that can be adjusted after the fact. The center column is locked in place in the direction that it is. And on the SliderPLUS Long, because of the way it screws on, when it would lock in its position, when you're actually mounting it on the tripod, it wasn't properly aligned over both side legs on the tripod. Therefore, when the slider would be off at one end, it had the stability of one of the legs. When you go across to the opposite end, it didn't. And if I gave any kind of pressure at all, it would topple, okay? Which of course is a no-no when you've got your expensive equipment sitting on it. So there really wasn't anything I could do about that. And furthermore, when you're setting yourself up in different locations, it's important to be able to set yourself up in a nice aligned way, particularly for me, because I have everything set up in a very tight, very meticulously set up corner. So unless I've got a big space like this to work on it, it's a no-go. So hopefully this little comparison will help you decide between the two. Like I said, if you have a video tripod with a ball head in the middle, you should be perfectly fine. The only reason why I would recommend getting the 25-inch SliderPLUS Pro under the circumstances would be because you have a heavier camera rig on top. But otherwise, if you're not working with a camera that's too heavy and you have a good video tripod with a ball head, you should be perfectly fine with the 21-inch and it'll save you a bit of money. But otherwise, under any other circumstance, I definitely recommend getting the 25-inch SliderPLUS Pro. All right. I know this was a piece of information I was looking all over the internet for, so hopefully this helps you in your purchasing decisions as well. All right. So happy shopping. Take care.